This Miami Dolphins situation? It's chaotic. It's raw. You don't just look at the roster and nod. No. You stare at it and wonder what the hell is actually going on behind the scenes. Over the last couple of off-seasons, they've bled talent like someone forgot to shut the door. Players walked, retired, were pushed, or vanished. And now they're scrambling. But is it a rebuild? A reload? Or just a really confused mess pretending to be a plan? What happened with Jalen Ramsey said a lot, without saying anything. He got moved on the final day of June. Gone. Just like that. Traded to Pittsburgh. But it wasn't just him. Tight end Jonnu Smith, fresh off a Pro Bowl year, got packaged in too. In return, Minkah Fitzpatrick. A name fans remember. A name that still stings for some. But that's not even the full story, because the Dolphins threw in some pick swaps and added another twist when Darren Waller showed up. Retired Darren Waller. Now magically unretired and suddenly part of this unpredictable machine. Is this brilliant? Desperate? A little of both? There's no clear answer. That's the part driving everyone a little crazy. And look, this isn't one of those moments where a franchise slowly fades. This is a roller coaster plummeting from a sky. Just 2 seasons ago, McDaniel had them trending up. 9-8 in year 1, then 11-6. They felt like a problem no one wanted to deal with. But both playoff runs? Flatline. No wins. Just exits. And then came 2024. The season that should have been elite turned into a faceplant. Tua, hurt again. Too many key injuries. Too many missed chances. It spiraled fast. And now, people are eyeing both McDaniel and Greer like they're walking on thin ice. For years for McDaniel. 10 for Greer. That seat's getting warm whether they admit it or not. Meanwhile, the team keeps leaking key names. Terron Armstead retires. Calais Campbell says peace and heads back to Arizona. Javon Holland? Gone. Jordan Poyer? Out. Kendall Fuller? Cut. The whole secondary, except Kader Kohou, has vanished. That's not a tweak. That's a detonation. But then, here comes the Ramsey trade. At first, it sounded like it was just him. 1 for 1, something quiet. But then the layers peeled back. Minkah was coming back. And Smith was gone too. Miami said no to his raise, so he said goodbye. Pittsburgh snapped him up. And just like that, the Dolphins were staring at yet another gap. And then came Waller. Out of retirement, back from silence. Landing on a team where nobody really knows what the ceiling is anymore. Not even Waller's sure of it. And right around then, Louis Riddick lit up the internet. Called the Dolphins the very definition of uncertainty. Said nobody really knows what they'll look like. He didn't dress it up. Didn't sugarcoat it. Just threw it down. And honestly, it landed. Because it's not just uncertainty. It's disorientation. You try to find the core of this roster, and it's like sand slipping between fingers. The offensive line, already shaky, just lost its rock. Armstead may have been aging, but he held it together. Now, Patrick Paul's the next man up, and he's got almost nothing under his belt. Sure, he's got potential, but in this league, potential without experience can get your quarterback crushed. They brought in Jonas Savaiania to add depth and versatility, but he's just a rookie too. These aren't proven pieces. They're question marks wearing jerseys. And speaking of protection, Tua doesn't get 9 lives. He's already used up a few. If that pocket collapses like it is before, the offense won't even get off the ground. You don't need 5 superstars on a line, but you do need 5 guys who can function together like a wall. So far, we've seen more like a turnstile. Flip to the defense, and it gets even messier. The cornerback group, without Ramsey, is a ghost town. There's youth. There's speed. But there's no proven anchor. Minkah's return adds something, sure. But can one safety rescue an entire unit? He's elite. Nobody questions that. But he's not a miracle worker. And even that move? It doesn't align with the rebuild vibe. You don't grab a 3-time All-Pro if you're tearing things down. So what's the message? Is this a retool? A patch job? A swing for the fences shot? And then there's Waller. A name that carries weight, sure. But his last few seasons? Injury after injury. He hasn't hit the end zone more than 3 times in a season since 2020. He sat out all of 2024. He's 33. That's not just rust. That's full-on mothballs. And yet here he is, expected to step in where Jonnu Smith left off, expected to be Tua's security blanket, his big body, third down target. Can he really be that? Or is he just a nostalgia act?